I don't know what kind of battle you guys are facing. I don't know if you even are facing a battle, but I know that no matter how big it is, he's equipped. He's equipped to handle it. And, this, just because I've been walking through this with the Lord, and it doesn't mean that I don't have hard days. I certainly do, especially those days I told you about. Every day that I go see the doctor is not a good day. And I think the thing for me that I was kind of wondering, why is that? Like, why does it bring me down so deep? And what it is when you go to a doctor, they're kind of like an authority figure, and you're going there to get like their I don't know, information, and it's kind of like you're trusting them to know something to help you. You're putting your hope in them that they have some way to help you. And I think that's what the biggest problem is. Like, I'm going to the doctor, and just the act of going there and talking to him is me kind of taking my eyes off of Christ and putting them on him for a second and asking him to help me, basically. And that's when I have the hardest time. And it's because I'm shifting my focus off of God and onto this person wanting help from a person that is not capable of helping me. And so every time I have to go, I still have to go to it. Every time I have to go, I do have like a little bit of a sinking. I prepare myself ahead of time because I know it's going to happen. And so I prepare as best I can, and I just kind of get through it as quick as I can, and I get home, and I ask God to help me out of it, like lift me up again, like get me back up. And he has every single time. And not even, not even a hard, long time. Like he does it quickly. This second I ask him to help me, he helps me. He brings me back. And I'm so grateful for that. I know he's been fighting for me. I know he's been allowing me to rest while he fights for me. He is definitely the reason that I am still like alive and breathing and healthy. He's for sure the reason why I am not insane, like crazy over this. He's the reason that I live every single day with joy and peace instead of fear. That one I just kind of boggles my mind. I cannot believe that one, but it is true. He has given me strength that never runs out. Even through the chemo treatments, like he just keeps replenishing it, and it's crazy, and I don't understand it, but I'm grateful. He has just been sufficient for me in every single way, and I know that he's enough. I know that. Psalm 16, 8-9 says, I know the Lord is always with me. I will not be shaken, for he is right beside me. No wonder my heart is glad and I rejoice, because my body rests in safety. And I love that verse. It is kind of like, I love the part where it says, no wonder my heart is glad, because you do wonder when you're going through something so crazy. You're like, how is this possible that I have joy? How is this possible that I have peace and all the things that I need? I don't understand it. And I love that. And so it's like, no wonder my heart is glad, because he's right with me. And so I just think that verse is so cool. But when I was preparing this message, since I'm kind of like, I work in accounting for a living, so my strength lies more in like numbers and facts and things like that. I'm not really like I don't know, gifted with words, but I was trying so hard when I was preparing this message to to figure out how I got this peace and how did I get it? Like, I don't even know how I got it. Like, and I wanted to tell you so bad, like, do this, do number one, number two, number three. Like, I that's the person that I am. I like steps, like I'm logical. I want steps. I want to know exactly. But I didn't know the steps myself. And so I was just so confused. I'm like, Lord, I don't know. I want everybody to have this, but I don't know how to tell them to get it. And so it was just very hard and confusing in the prep time for this. But finally, I feel like I understood how and when I was able to get this peace that I have that has sustained me through this whole entire year. On April 15th, it will be a year. And he showed me kind of the answer. And I was so grateful because sometimes when you take a step of obedience, this is kind of the last thing in the entire world I would want to do is be up here. I'm serious. I really, I know that sounds weird, but I would rather be at Moffitt right now getting chemo. I do not like this. It's just not, it's not comfortable at all. But anyway, that's off point. God, out of my obedience to do this, God gave me the answer of what I've kind of been searching, because I've been wanting to know this for a while now. I want to know this because I wanted to tell my family how to have what I have. They're dealing with this too. This is not just my battle. This is theirs. They're all dealing with it. It's just a different perspective, but we're all dealing with it. And so this is the thing I've wanted to know. So anyway, here it is. This is what my survival kind of strategy has been through this battle. And my prayer is that it will be forever, that I will never, ever, ever forget this, and that I will do this forever. But the secret is that I have learned how to abide in his presence. And all last year, I felt like God gave me that word, abide. And living in the shelter of the Most High. And abide means stay, remain, dwell, live in. Now, until last year, I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't know what abide actually meant. And I thought that I was abiding because I was doing all the Christian stuff. And I kind of thought that's what abide meant. I did church, Bible study, prayer, all of it. But I realized when I was doing this message that I was actually just visiting the shelter of the Most High. And I wasn't abiding. I would visit and I would enjoy all the stuff that was available, all the comforts and all of that God provides, but then I would go home. And that's the big difference. And in Psalms 91, it actually kind of explains a little bit more what abide looks like. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't really know what your battle is, or if you have a battle right now, or if this is just preparation for a battle that you will face someday. But if you're in a battle, and especially like a life-threatening kind of battle, you should read all of Psalms 91. It is one of those, whoa, chapters. Like, it will calm you to the very core of your being, and I highly recommend it. But for tonight, we're just talking about Psalms 91, verses 1 and 2. And it says, "Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. This I declare about my Lord. He alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He's my God, and I trust him." Now, this is really big, because the God of the universe has invited us to live in his shelter. Like, he wants us to stay. He doesn't want us to just come over to visit. He wants us to stay there and live with him and enjoy all that he has to offer and use his resources. And just, he wants us there. He wants to be with us, and he wants that relationship with us. And it's interesting to me, when I looked up the commentary on this verse, I'll just read to you what Spurgeon says. It says, "Every child of God looks toward the inner sanctuary, and the mercy seat, yet all do not dwell in the most holy place. They run to it at times and enjoy occasional approaches, but they do not habitually reside in the mysterious presence." Now, I don't know about you, but I don't feel like I consciously chose not to live there. Like, I feel like I just literally didn't understand that I was supposed to live there. I thought that I was doing things the right way, by being like, a strong and independent Christian that loves the Lord. Like, I thought that was the right thing to do. And I think that the challenge with abiding for us is that it's just so counterintuitive. Like, our society, we celebrate independence and we celebrate people, like it's an accomplishment kind of to grow up and move out, and it kind of shows a sign that you're responsible. It's kind of like a celebrated thing in our culture to be on your own and to use your own resources. It's like a sign of achievement that and I think we teach that to our kids, and we teach that independence is a good thing and it's the right thing to be. And like, our society even kind of looks down on people that aren't. You kind of look at them, if you're depending on others, that they may be weak or irresponsible, or there's something wrong if they're not taking care of themselves. And so it's just hard for us, I think, to kind of reconcile that God wants us, and that it's just different than what we think. And so it's really hard for us to grasp. But God's different. He wants us to live with him forever. He doesn't want us to leave. And I kind of feel the same way. I kind of want my kids to stay with me forever too. And like, my dream would be to like have a massive house and have them all just live with me forever, and their families and my grandkids. That would be awesome. I think, but I think that's the same way with God. He loves us so much. He wants us there with him, in that shelter with him. And so this is kind of interesting timing. But my son Seth and his two best friends are planning to move out next month. And the word kind of spread through my family. My sister-in-law was talking to her son Tyler and just kind of, telling him that he's planning to move out. And what's very interesting, and I just thought this goes so well, is Tyler said, "Tell him no, don't do it." He said, "Stay home and save your money." And I thought, that is Such great advice. But what's interesting about it is through this entire time that I've been through this battle, people keep telling me and remarking about how strong I am. And I understand why they're saying that, because I'm a strong person, but this is like next level strength. It's not mine. And I know myself. I know how much I have. And I'm not a total wimp, but but this is not my strength. I'm not capable of this kind of strength and stability under this kind of circumstance. I know I'm not. I know absolutely for sure that I cannot do this without God. And so I did not even try. I wasn't about to try that. You see, the strength that I have is not my resources, because I have been abiding with God. I've been using His, and they don't run out. And so that's what was so cool about that statement, to stay home and save your money. It just clicked. I have been abiding in the Most High, in the shelter of the Most High, and He lets me use all of His stuff. His peace, His strength, His courage, His love, His joy. He lets me use all of it. And His resources are not limited like mine. They don't run out the way mine do. I have strength, but mine runs out really quickly. And His doesn't. And He just gives me more every single day. And that's incredible. And I think, like, we can save our resources and use His unlimited ones. And it's overwhelming, basically. Because I've lived it, and I know that, we all know ourselves. And as much as people think I'm strong, I'm not this strong. I'm not. Like, I know I'm not. And so to me, it's astounding to see what God has given to me. It's just astounding to me. But now, when I was thinking about that, I was thinking, as much as having all those resources available to us sounds like really cool, there's still something that is in us that we want to be independent and we want to move out, even though the resources are free there and they're not limited. We still have that in us that we have to fight. We have to fight the urge to leave the Lord and try and go be independent on our own. Like, we love to be in control, or at least we think that we have some kind of control. We love to make our own decisions and choices. We love to feel like we are the ones that are the strong and capable people. And I just wanted to go back to a piece in my video where I was talking about how I was in the hospital and I was all alone because this was the beginning of COVID and they would not let anyone in. And hearing the scariest health diagnosis that I can imagine, but I had that feeling of God's presence and peace that I had never experienced before. And God had to remove all of the people that I had learned my entire life to lean on so that I would be able to comprehend that He is all that I needed. He was able to calm me, like calm my body, calm my mind, calm my heart, like nobody has ever been able to. I know that I was better off. I know that I know that I'm still better off because I was in the hospital by myself, because God was everything. And I don't know for sure if I would have figured out how to abide in him if that hadn't happened, because that's the moment when I moved in. And when I experienced what it was like to actually be there in that shelter, I have fought every single day since then to stay put. Like, I am not leaving. I'm going to use every bit of strength that I can muster to make sure that I don't screw this up. Like, I am staying. And I couldn't figure out until this time, literally, that was what happened. I didn't know what happened. I knew something amazing did happen out of that, but I didn't realize that was literally the time that I moved in. And it's been about a year, and I think as that time goes on, like I said, I think you just build and build, and it just builds your strength and builds your faith and builds your trust as you go. And I want to go back to Psalms 91, verse 1, and just read it again. It says, "Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty." Now, if you think about a battle, you do not think about that you can rest. That sounds very hard. Like, you're going to be fighting, you're going to be working, it sounds very hard and very enduring. And I just want to say that if you are fighting a battle and you need that rest, that this is the only way you can find rest. This is the way you find it, in the shadow of the Almighty. And I thought it was interesting because the commentary also said, think about how close you have to be to someone to be in their shadow. Like, you have to be like kind of up against them, clung on. And so I thought that is so cool, because if you think about, like, as moms, when our kids were small, how they would do that, like if you had to leave them somewhere, how they would do that wraparound thing around your leg. And I was thinking, that's exactly, like, I don't want to be independent anymore. I decided, like, I've always been an independent person. I decided when I realized this, that I don't want to be independent anymore. I want to be that little kid just like wrapped around his leg, and I don't want to let go. Like, I will be in the shadow if I'm that close, if I'm stuck on and glued on. And I know that if I'm living there, that he will be able to endlessly supply my needs. And so that's my survival tactic. Cling on, move in. Verse 2 is really cool because it's kind of the second part. As you've been abiding, like I said, that faith builds. And then you get to the point where you say, I declare about the Lord. He alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He is my God, and I trust him. Now, you can probably imagine, with my fear of public speaking, that when Steve Williams got up and did the announcement that my message would be life-changing, I was like, oh, no pressure there. And I was thinking, dude, why would you say that? Like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I just don't. And after service, I'm pretty sure those are the exact words I said to him. But I will tell you that if you do make the decision to move in and abide in the shelter of the Most High, it absolutely will change your life. It will. It has to. And so it's your choice. I don't know, like, he's not going to force you to move in, that's for sure. But it's your choice. He invites you to. So I don't know really what your battle is. I don't know if you even are in a battle, but this is just how I've learned to survive mine. So I just thank you guys for letting me share it with you, and I just pray that that's something that even if you're not in such a life-threatening kind of thing, sometimes when we're not in an emergency situation, we won't choose to run home. But I pray that you do. I pray that you do before then. I pray that that's something that you'll do in preparation, because you don't know what is going to happen. Like, clearly, I did not expect this. And so there's things that happen in all of our lives. God warns us in Scripture that bad things are going to happen here while we're on earth. And so we can't expect to be like exempt from them just because we're Christians. He literally warns us, so we won't think that. And so I hope and pray that that'll be something that you will seek God and for out of that situation, so that you're prepared if you do, go into a hard battle situation. You're already in the safe place, for that. But that's the end. I just thank you guys for listening.